Chalicotherium kind. Status presumed extinct, which means it's extinct. Adult lengths 7.5 to 11 feet. Representative shown Anisodon. Chalicotheres may have looked a bit like giant ground sloths, but were actually more physically similar to tapirs, rhinos, and horses. That's because they're actually related to them, but we don't allow that, remember? This is not supposed to be about evolution. This is about kinds. Minimal tooth wear indicates that these animals ate soft plant material. This is more science information that we're stealing from the evolutionists because we don't do that ourselves. Fossils of this kind persist into the early stages of the Ice Age, though some suggest, and we're not going to tell you who they are, that the Nandi bear, an unconfirmed African animal, may actually be a late surviving Chalicothere. Yes, that would be very interesting if these really fast sloth-like animals were able to sprint all the way from Mount Ararat to Africa and into other places besides. Isn't it amazing how quickly animals can move even when they can't, and can do it really fast even when not, and the Ice Age will occur even when it doesn't? We have this all worked out, but don't ask too many questions because we don't know.
In other words, we made stuff up.
The Stalecharid kind. Status presumed extinct, which again is to say it's extinct. Adult lengths 9.8 to 13 feet. Representative shown Placerius, better resembling something from science fiction than any animal today, and boy do we know science fiction here in the Ark Museum, or at least the fiction part. Stalechachids were a kind of non-mammalian synapsid. How we like to say that because we don't want you to remember this is part of the reptile-mammal transition. Being more similar to mammals than modern reptiles in ways that we're not going to tell you anything about, because then you might think that they're the way they are because they actually are on the transition to mammals. Like other Stalechachids, Placerius, depicted here, boasted tusk-like features that were actually facial flanges rather than teeth or true horns. The real paleontologists have worked out a lot about these things and how they develop from the natural body form and bone structure of the synapsids that are very distinctive from the diapsids that you get dinosaurs and birds from. But again, that's information that we don't want to tell you here because that would make you think about God's creation and wonder whether or not it's actually evolved. The largest known Stalechachids weighed up to 2.2 tons when fully grown. More nice information that won't get you thinking about things.
Okay, you 2 minutes max, remember? You've got 1 minute and 12 seconds left in this cage.
Kind. Status presumed extinct, which means extinct. Adult lengths 20 to 50 feet. Representative shown Nigersaurus. Sauropods are known for their great size, but not every variety was extremely massive. Stretching about 15 feet nose to tail, these young Rebeccosaurids are half the size of adults. Of course, all that growth rate is developed by the actual scientists doing the work, but again, we don't care to mention any of them. We just want to take their work and let you think we did it. The Nigersaurus is named for the Republic of Niger, the nation in which its fossils were originally discovered. That would suggest the biogeography of these dinosaurs, but we don't do that either because it's never going to fit our flood models, and we don't want you to notice that. Facial features indicate that they were low-level grazers like the behemoth described in Job 40:15-24. Here, we're not going to mention that Job describes an animal that eats grass, even though these animals couldn't eat grass and there were no grass for them to eat, that they lived in rivers and these were terrestrial animals, and that these animals are not even slightly matching what's described in Job unless we rewrite it to fit. Oh, isn't it wonderful when you're a creationist? You can take material, ignore the parts you don't want, and rewrite the Bible even to make it fit.
And what we just witnessed was the triggering mechanism for the methane air mix. Here we delve even deeper into imagination land with the suggestion for possible air freshening techniques. Except that it's not actually possible. You can't put a moon pool in a wooden vessel like this. While it's conceivable that the boat's weight would compress the planking along its hull to provide a tolerable seal, a rectangular opening in the bottom of the boat would be nearly impossible to seal, pitch or no pitch. Yes, you actually did just see that. The impossible moon pool apparently operated a conveyor belt that represented the heart of the waste management system.
Koalas can eat the leaves of some other trees, such as the wattle, paperbark, and tea trees, but they prefer certain eucalyptus leaves. This is a way of saying that they really prefer certain eucalyptus leaves, and you can't even just give it to them. You have to hold it in front of them, just like they're on a living tree. They're really, 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 really picky. Like other animals, though, the koala's Ark ancestors were less specialized. We've just made that up. And probably hardier than modern representatives. Probably? We never allow evolutionists to use words like that, but we can get away with it because we're creationists. As such, they may, another word we don't let anybody else use, they may have eaten a much wider variety of food, including grains, fruits, and vegetables, for which we have no evidence or that their metabolism would accept it. But we get to make up stuff.
Moths become a food source? As far as I know, moths are not plants. This kind of conflicts with the whole vegetarian narrative that's been pushed so far. Also, I don't know if moths are clean or unclean animals. God's list can get kind of confusing. But it appears that there are neither 2 nor 7 moths in that box. Reptiles and amphibians. Because they all live in the same environment, of course. That's why we always keep our salamanders and bearded dragons together.
Yeah, but she's not going to get that. Like, you're not getting that.
Okay, let's assume that this feeding and waste management system would actually work. which it wouldn't. Anyone ever had a pet lizard? Some of these animals actually require sunlight hitting their skin, or they would die.
Slotted floors in the cages combined with a series of angled trays placed beneath them would move the waste of many animals to a collection tray at the bottom of the stack that could be quickly cleaned. Yes, we are sure of that.
Okay. Both solid and liquid waste emanate from these animals, one would imagine. I can almost believe that if it were only solid waste, this system of waste removal might actually work. Liquid waste, however, would soak into and degrade both the little slides and the floors of the I can't believe I'm actually talking about this.